Today's MTG Arena video is sponsored by Wizards of the Coast. Hello and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and I am coming to you on the official Magic the Gathering Arena channel. Here on the official YouTube channel. Remember to hit like and subscribe, because you may not have subscribed to this place yet, but I've got an arrangement. I'm going to be making videos for this channel on the regular, so if you don't want to miss a single one, you absolutely have to hit that subscribe button. Just do it. Hit subscribe. It's free. Takes like a second. No problem. And speaking of taking a second, if you like this particular deck, you've got plenty of seconds to spare, because while this is one of my winningest decks in MTG Arena, we aren't going to win quickly. Yes, Magic the Gathering is very much about making battlefields and creatures and attacking with them, but some of us don't like all that aggression. Some of us like the challenge of stopping that which is attacking us, a defense as a good offense, you might say. And that's what this deck is all about. It's a control deck in the colors of Bant, green and blue and white, brokers, if you want to go by the Streets of New Capenna terminology. And our goal is to stop everything our opponent tries to do to us. We're playing competitive ranked best of one, and that usually leans towards the aggressive. These aggressive decks are very popular in ranked best of one. And when you know how aggressive your opponent's going to be, you can build a deck specifically around stopping what they do and winning that way. Now, some of you might say, but wait, winning, what do you mean? How do you actually win if you don't have creatures, if you don't attack your opponents? We are trying to create a situation not where we win, but just where we don't lose. And eventually, at the very end of the game, we take advantage of this card, Endless Detour. It puts target spell, non-land permanent, or card in a graveyard on the top or bottom of a library. It's up to the owner. Now, this is usually used on the opponent's stuff, almost always, to delay them, because that's what we do here, we stall. But eventually, at the very end, we can target cards in our own graveyard to put into our library so that we don't run out of cards, because the first player to run out of cards will lose the game. The card we are most likely to target in the end game is Devious Cover-Up. This counters and exiles a spell of the opponent's, and then we shuffle 4 target cards from our graveyard into our library. Usually what we are shuffling back into our library are Endless Detours. This creates a loop that plays out over time of shuffle back in the Endless Detour, Endless Detour back in the Cover-Up. Hopefully I'll get to show it to you in the games today. If you actually do want to, say you can attack your opponent, we have a Wandering Emperor, just one, and it can make a 2/2 Samurai token, and eventually those can overwhelm the opponent if you keep getting it back over time with enough Endless Detours. However, the rest of the deck is just all about defense. We have 4 copies of Teferi, who slows the sunset. We also have 4 copies of Joint Exploration. What these cards have in common is they can produce extra mana for us, either by untapping a land or putting an extra land onto the battlefield. This helps us cast Farewell sooner. I often think that control players are types of people who actually liked cleaning their room as a kid, because we take that big messy battlefield, and when we cast Farewell, we just exile it all away. And any toys and graveyards too, we just clean it all up and we get a fresh start, and it makes, I don't know, I get a wonderful feeling from all of this. We also have Sunset Revelry. In theory, this can make human creature tokens. Maybe those will attack for lethal. I don't know, but what you're going to find on ranked ladder, especially from aggro players, is that they're going to leave about the time we've wiped out all their threats so they can go play anybody else. They really don't like what we do to them. So I'm excited to showcase a control deck on this channel. I've played aggro deck on this channel a few times, but now I'm going to show you my true evil dark side, the kind that is all defense, and that is my offense. So settle in, get yourself some popcorn, kick way back. We're going to dive in, let the nice, slow, methodical, grindy, evil control nonsense begin. All right, we're on the play with some card draw and the mighty Farewell. I really want some ramp, but I'm not going to argue too much. Sundown Pass, red, white. Interesting. What are you doing? Elspeth Sleeves. Dragon Pet. Jeskai. Okay. This hand looks like I could play poker. Well, if you're going up against another control deck, drawing cards is always good. The person who draws more has a good chance to win the game. Not going to slam a Teferi right there. I think that's exactly what the opponent would like. We're at 19 because of the Pain Land, so this would gain life and draw a card. Let's go for it. Opponent might slam a Planeswalker. Ah, Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Okay. That thing can attack and make treasures. Very, very annoying. But we do have Farewell. As long as the opponent doesn't play a Planeswalker this turn, Farewell can do a lot of work. I'm trying to think of what else a Jeskai really ramps into. It's often a lot of card draw. We would play our Teferi, untap a land. I think if we're patient, we can do better. We can also blow up the Fable before they get to draw off it. I think I'd yeah, that's not bad, but with Farewell about to clean it up, I guess I'm just gonna let them do their thing. Pass the turn. Opponent has something for 1 red. Maybe it only targets creatures. Curious what kind of endgame our opponent tries to battle with. They're going to discard a Flameblessed Bolt, that's the 1 red card, and a Temporal Firestorm. So they're also looking to take advantage of aggro decks by killing all their stuff. Means they might have a lot of dead cards in this game. Another Fable, sure. You might also play counter spells, which could definitely make the game interesting, but their island auto-tapped earlier. Makes me think it's not a lot of counter spells if it is there. An interesting line is that we can Endless Detour the treasure so they have no blue mana, and then we Farewell. I'm not going to take that line. We'll see if I get punished. That seems a little wild to me, a little crazy. Could have joined Exploration without the land drop there, but I do love the land drop. No reason to hit the graveyards just now. Nothing of serious consequence for the opponent. And yeah, 2 Fables, all gone. They slam a Wandering Emperor.
We must protect the people.
Yeah, Wandering Emperor is a pain, but hardly the end of the world. Let's get Teferi going. Tap their creature just to assert dominance. Easy.
Give me a moment. Or a few.
We want them to spend a few turns with their Wandering Emperor tokens worrying about Teferi. It'll give us more time to joint Exploration, dig deeper into the deck, cast our Broker's Charm, and have all kinds of cool options. So I'm not afraid of Teferi taking a little damage. It's fine.
I'll show you how it's done.
May your blade strike true.
All right, opponent passing. Let's go for a draw 2. Oh, we have the land now. Let's go for the Exploration. Island on island. Let's put those away. Those are supposed to be once we find the Field of Ruin and start recurring it for our super secret land destruction strategy. That's when we want to keep those islands in the deck. All right, this time Teferi will tick down. There's another detour. Cool. We have draw 2 potential from the charm. There's a bolt that will exile Teferi. Sad, but you know, it's fine. We have more. Very expendable. The Wandering Emperor you sometimes want to defend because you don't have another way to win through combat.
Remember your training.
We can take this, I believe. If we play a Wandering Emperor, it might be too early. It's probably too early for a Wandering Emperor. Bankbuster, more Farewell bait. Love it. So, let's draw 2. If we Wandering Emperor to the top of their deck, casting it again can be a real pain. Let's go for it. They might even choose to put it on the bottom. They do. Let's cycle this. And land. Da 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 da. Again. All the battlefield things. I think the opponent will probably just slam another Wandering Emperor here. So probably going to slam my own Teferi. And we'll tick down. Keep digging for awesome cards. Silver Scrutiny at this stage of the game is very good. We'll take the cover up. And start the insane amount of pain we're going to put them through. Opponent with a Flame Blast Bolt. You seem to have plenty of those. Okay! And that's how most games should and will end. The Frustration Scoop. Easy. You rank up about, you know, once a day. Play all day. Just savor your ladder experience. All right, we're playing against Simply. We're on the play. These sleeves are styling. Good taste. Good taste. But I'm not sure what deck they're playing. I'm going to keep it. The mana's great. Mana's great and the spells are great. Maestro's Theater. Land goes straight to the graveyard. They get to go get a swamp. Okay, doesn't tell me too much. They might not even play Grixis. They might be using it just for the life gain sack effect. Ledger Shredder. There's one I don't see all the time anymore. I have two of these, and I have nothing to do on turn 2, so I'm going to use the Scry 2 draw one without putting a land on the field. And my goodness. I think that this is getting a bit redundant with the Broker's Charms. Too many of a good thing. So we'll put that on the bottom. And there's a Fateful Absence. So just wait. We're going to stay patient. I want to see what all they are up to. Bankbuster is fine. Let's see. One black open. I think I'm just going to Joint Exploration this turn. I can take one from the Ledger Shredder. Not very afraid of it. But we're definitely not against an aggro deck. It's some kind of a value deck, so we got to make good choices. Farewell is a sweet card. Lands are important to cast the card. And just pass the turn, say go, see what the opponent does. We're not taking too much damage. We don't have to be very afraid. Farewell can clean up the whole board. They're going to draw with Bankbuster on their turn. Often that's a sign of not having a land, but not always. So they don't attack. They're nervous about a Wandering Emperor, which is part of the benefit of playing white mana in this deck. So let's draw 2 with the charm. We still don't have to worry about this Shredder too much. So just hold. Hold, hit land drops. They're not even hurting us. We've got time. They're going to draw some cards with their Bankbuster. It's a good card for them, but it's not going to be the end of the world for us. Now they're coming at us. That tells us that since they didn't attack last turn and they did this turn, they have like a Disdainful Stroke, a Negate, something that they're going to try to counter our Wandering Emperor with. Okay, Sheldred. We can remove that. No problem. They didn't play it pre-combat either, so they could attack with Bankbuster. So they definitely have something to counter a Wandering Emperor. We don't have one, but it's good to know. If we cast the Broker's Charm now, it's going to trigger Ledger Shredder and they get a Connive. So I'm just going to be patient. We do not have to take action there. In fact, I'm going to take some action on my turn as a draw 2. And if we hit a land, we can play it. And then we can do a draw 2 on their turn with Memory Deluge and just keep the chain going. Have another Shelly. Okay. Sheldred. The Apocalypse. Yeah. It's going to power up Bankbuster. Definitely looking at farewell time while they're tapped out, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take all this damage, I'm going to untap, I'm going to take 2 from the Sheltered, and I'm going to farewell to clear all these off. So, let's go ahead and Memory Deluge. The Devious cover-up is nice, the Teferi is nice. Draw, take 2. Land, goodbye. All right, artifacts, creatures, enchantments, graveyards. Nope, we've got a Memory Deluge down there that we like. 2 open mana is not 3. Would be better with 3 for the Endless Detour, but this is fine. The 3rd, Sheltered the Apocalypse. It just keeps coming. Now it is time. Time to slow things down. Behold, I can tap your clue. I could even bounce their clue if I really didn't want them to draw. I'm going to hold Otawara. We have a lot of land. The ability can save Teferi from a removal spell, for example. A clue has been cracked. A theater has been played. Swamp has been fetched. So they're using it as a blue-black gain land with maybe... There must be some kind of sacrifice synergy or something. Alright, draw 2. And let the... I guess, constrictor mode commence. Going to bring this back. We got Sunset Revelry, Absence, another Detour, another land. All right, plus, I'm going to see if we can get off a Teferi Ultimate. That much value is really hard to beat. We're going to move to end step, and we're going to discard a Plains. We still have Endless Detour to protect from whatever. Oh, they do have a Mountain. And they have Invoke Despair. That is a nasty card. Let's put that on top of your deck. We don't like that. Maybe next turn it'll work out for you. Hint. Spoiler alert, I suppose. It won't. Care to try again? Oh, nope. I hope you enjoy taking this style of turn. We're going to do it for a long time. Oh, they don't have a... I can't believe it. They don't have a non-basic land. Anyway, we've ultimated Teferi. Now we're going to get an emblem. We're going to untap all of our lands, aka permanents, on each of our opponents' untap steps, and we get to draw an extra card. Have we done enough to them? Yeah, we've done enough. As far as like making them take the same turn over and over. So let's get these back. Broker's Charms are sweet. They help you draw through the deck. And then let's go ahead and Devious cover up back onto the top. I'm a monster. But they love to hate me. Let's go ahead and gain 4 and draw. There's Teferi. We already have a Teferi emblem, so we'll just go ahead and minus and dig through the deck and really put together all of our powerful cards, all of our synergies. Draw, land for turn. Then Teferi emblem, we untap, we draw again. Blood Tithe Harvester. Yep, it's fine. They have a lot of cards in hand, so I'm still not comfortable just Devious covering up everything they do. Not yet. Alright, just keep minusing Teferi. Get more cards. We'll shuffle them back in later. It'll be fun. A Wandering Emperor. Yes, that's what we're looking for. I could play something here. I could just farewell this. Nah, I'll just discard a land. It's fine. Opponent's going to go for the draw. all Teferi emblems should come with no max hand size, just because that's a nice benefit. That's something you want if you're playing any deck that has a Teferi in it anyway. All right, the theater. Wandering Emperor is here. I thought they had a counter or something that would cope with Emperor from the way they played earlier, but we're not seeing it. Maybe it's because they know about the cover-up. All right. Harvester's back. Sure. Let's draw. Anything we want to get back. We get back a Teferi. I guess so. It's not terrible in any way. All right, back to the top. Untap, draw. Cast it. Is the pain setting in, opponent? Do you understand what you're in for? The slow demise. What many people who complain about these decks doesn't understand is just how fun, how enjoyable it is. Just to feel for a minute, you know, like you have a little control over your world. We can make a 2/2. I'm just going to plus now since we have a way to defend from the Harvester. Just a little control. So all these lands can be used as spells, so I always hold them until the last minute. Don't usually play them out as lands until I'm absolutely sure that I won't need them. All right, Iganjo. Kill your Harvester. They still have all these cards. Maybe they're all removal spells. All right, anything we want back this particular turn? No, not really. We are sitting pretty. Sunset. Sunset right now doesn't do us any good. We are too powerful. I'll go ahead and minus the Teferi.
Now what?
Not a lot of reason to double emblem, but it could be an option. There's a charm. We'll cast that on the opponent's turn because we're about to discard to hand size at this stage. And Sunset Revelry is an easy discard. Not really doing anything. Yep, there's a removal spell. So that's what the opponent is probably playing. I don't usually counter the removal spells. Just let them do their thing. All right, let's draw 2. We're just trying to like kind of completely empty the library here. Make sure we have access to anything we could want to play. Destroy evil. Farewell. Okay. Still going. Plus. Teferi.
Remember your training.
All right, we've got access to, I think, everything we could want, and we're just discarding the hand size. So I'm just going to play out and try to avoid discarding. Duress. Well, that's a frustrating one, but like say they pick Devious Cover Up, what do? We just endless detour it back. Anyway. It's still an annoying card to have to deal with. Let's just throw the detour at that instead of letting it trade with one of our favorite cards. And then one of my favorite tricks in the deck. Put it on top, make them shuffle with Field of Ruin. It is not optional to shuffle. The wastes. I mean, again, I just don't want to discard, so I guess I'll just take the life, and we'll make the 2/2 that the opponent will probably kill, and we are sitting just fine. We have 13 cards left, but we're not going to run out thanks to cover up. The last thing I need to feel really great is a Bant Charm in hand so that I can get back the cover up at instant speed. All right, so there. Or a joint exploration works too. So let's get back all of the endless detours and one of the broker's charms. Beautiful. Then we cast the endless detour on the devious cover up again. And feel the warm glowy feels of always having a counterspell. Now I'm going to dig for another endless detour. We found a broker's charm. Well, plus, keep this around. And pass.
We've got the edge in this fight.
We'll just keep that in hand, like I said. Once you have a devious cover up, or not a devious cover up, once you have broker's charm, devious cover up, or joint exploration, it can be this or this devious cover up and a endless detour. Once you have all of those in your hand, you've got it. You've got the thing where you can basically go draw another counterspell in response. You can endless detour the devious cover back on top of your deck and draw it again. All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and Fateful Absence. I was about to discard this. I'm just gonna use it on my own token. Get myself a little clue token, because that also can function as one of these. All right, just put any spell on the stack opponent. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. We're going to gain all this life. Every other turn, we're going to make a token. The opponent will run out of removal someday.
I've got new moves to teach you.
There we go. So with devious cover up, what do we want back now? Get the charms. They just help you get through the deck and have the right things at the right time. Get the exploration. Sure. All the things that basically let you draw through your deck to exactly what you need when you need it. We need cards in the deck. We just need them to get us to the right cards. Invoke Despair. So that is their solution here. All right, we're going to go Endless Detour. Devious Cover Up. Take that action. We'll go draw 2. We'll go Devious Cover Up on Detour, Detour, Charm. I'm actually going to start getting back lands, just so I always have enough lands to do this. And we want to hit a land drop every turn to keep from discarding the hand size. Which is weird, but it's a thing. We do it. Oh no, a damage! I probably tapped wrong somewhere in there. Could crack this, but I like having it sitting there for the reasons we discussed. Alright, dig. Got a broker's charm. All right, we have the endless detour, so we can get back the cover up, so we're fine on that front, but still like having multiple detours whenever possible. Gonna discard a hand size here. Yep. One of these farewells can go. It's probably a few too many. There's the scrutiny. Scrutiny's fun. We could have our whole deck in our hand if we wanted. Let's put... So they're going to duress us. Let's use this to put the cover up on top of the deck where it cannot be duressed, but we can draw into it if we want to with the clue. Go ahead, pick a card, any card. They're all quite good. They all are very redundant and do mostly the same thing, which is dig through the deck to make sure that we have the devious detour draw card combination. And the opponent might be letting this live. Kind of scurry. All right, let's do a draw 2. Beautiful. Just the cards we're looking for.
Remember your training.
Here it comes. Are you taking damage, opponent? No, they have more removal. Come on now. Let's not get crazy. Of course they have more removal. Oh my. So they pass. I should probably just start devious cover upping the removal spells, because otherwise I'm just not doing anything. 7. Play this land. Make this token.
We must protect.
Untap that land. Discard one of these farewells, because why not? And the opponent will not, you know, they're tough. They're hanging. Maybe they want to see the whole deck in all of its glory. But after that flurry of Shieldreds, they didn't do too much. Just threw a duress at us every now and then. 6 cards left. So I'm going to show you something. The opponent might be thinking now, if they don't play a spell, they'll win. We're going to show you. You just put a stop here. We're going to cast a Joint Exploration. Then we're going to cast Devious Cover-Up on our Joint Exploration. And that's going to shuffle back in more cards. Because why not? It's inevitable. All right, there's a Grasp in response. What's interesting here... Oh my gosh. Do I have the mana for this? I've never done this. All right, I'm going to cast Endless Detour on my Devious Cover-Up. Yes. Resolve that. Put it on top. I'm gonna draw it. Well, if you weren't going to give me a spell to counter, but now that you have... Thank you, opponent. It's very nice of you. So all the stack manipulation stuff you can do with this, it's one of my favorite things about the deck. You get to absolutely go deep. And now, Endless Detour on Devious Cover-Up. Put on top, Joint Exploration. I will draw Devious Cover-Up. Let's go. That was totally worth it, right? That was everything you could want. I think I'm just gonna play this as a draw 2 now that our hand is down to 4 cards. Why not? Do they have another removal spell? Oh, a Make Disappear. All right, you got me. Well, they're finally... It takes a while sometimes, guys, but they're finally out of cards. I'll go ahead and draw 2. I'll go ahead and draw 2. Seems fun. There we go. Hit those land drops. All of them. Don't miss them. They're the best. Duress. Yes, of course. You can have another Devious Cover-Up. No problem. I've got you. We just want to get every land on the battlefield and every card in our hand. What's wrong with that? Detour. We're looking for the Cover-Up. We want the Cover-Up back. Oh wait, it's right there. Sorry. Sometimes I do silly things. All right, Cover-Up back. Love it. Draw 2. Excellent. Hey, there's a pair of them now.
To me.
All right, 15 life to go. It can be done. Oh no, not the secret land destruction plan. Anything but the secret land destruction plan. So with the 1 Field of Ruin, it is possible. If the opponent plays a lot of non-basics, and a lot of 3-color decks do, not this one in particular, but a lot of 3-color decks play tons of non-basics, the Field of Ruin can just whip through all the non-basic lands in their deck. It's wonderful. You haven't lived till you've tried it. And then plus.
And some think time only flows in one direction.
All right, they're not playing cover up. We've got 2 cards in deck. So we need to devious cover up something of our own, or we should. All right, we don't have to, but we can. Draw 2 on the stack, devious cover up, exile that. Let's get back the Field of Ruin for the super secret land destruction plan. The other endless detour. Let's get the lands and the draw 2 to replace the one we're exiling. Ah, they get the message. No, I will not deck. I know all the tricks. I have no problem playing with a 2-card library all day. You will eventually submit. Okay, we go first with good mana. 3 lands, 4 spells. That's pretty much what you're looking for all the time. Get a blue source online, pass the turn. Probably casting Joint Exploration on our next turn instead of this one. You want that ramp to hit Farewell. Mono black? Mono black is the flavor of the format. The most popular monocolor deck. Much harder to deal with than the typical monocolored aggro decks that we like to play our control decks against because they run a lot of planeswalkers. They run a lot of Lilianas. They run a lot of value. They run a sorcery, Invoke Despair, that draws a whole bunch of cards. It's a tough task. All right, what goes? What goes? It's a tough call. I think I need to keep almost anything that draws cards. I'm going to drop the Forest. It's probably the worst land I've got in the deck. Then we're going to see what we get into with the exploration. Farewell and Sunset. Neither of those cards are very good right now because the Farewell's redundant and the Sunset has nothing on the battlefield to copy. It's good later though. Or nothing to trigger it, I would say. Alright, you've got a Planeswalker. I've got a Planeswalker. There's still a turn from Invoke Despair, so that's good for us. If we minus an underdog, Blitz gets it, but they don't have an underdog or they would have played it on turn 2, so minus should work. And more cards is very good against Liliana. If we're drawing more cards than our opponent, the Liliana can even work for us. Alright, Shelly, the Apocalypse. Scary card. There's the discard effect. I think I'm letting go of Farewell for now. It's not great in this spot. We untap. We send Shelly on an endless detour. They can choose whether to put it back on top or not. Yep. Okay, draw. Destroy evil. Excellent. We'll play the farmland. We'll use the Teferi to untap one of these pain-free sources for the Broker's Charm. We'll cast that to draw 2 in response to the Liliana trigger. Then we have to figure out how to deal with Liliana. Hopefully we can find one in the top, like 6 cards if we dig with Teferi. We'll say go. In response, draw 2. We found a land to discard. Excellent. Still need something to stop Liliana from ultimating, which can cost us some permanence. But I have beaten Liliana ultimates before. It's not the worst thing that can happen. Sheldred returns. Let's go ahead and spare ourselves some pain. Draw for turn, joint exploration, main. Let's use this to try to keep up with the Liliana card advantage issues. Otawara, that can bounce and reset Liliana. Is that worth it? Then what do we discard? Probably the Destroy Evil if they replay the Liliana. Okay. Seems like a plan. Ooh, okay, they're gonna play a Trespasser. No Liliana this turn. What you doing? Coming for the Farewell. All right, looks like we have to plus this turn. Let's go ahead and do joint exploration, no kicks. We don't want land anymore. There's another Farewell, which we can cast. But I think I want to save that. Although, what's going to save Teferi from this Trespasser? Nothing, right? Okay. Kind of loosey-goosey to exile one creature, but it's really hard to trade with a Trespasser on a low resource situation like this. Okay, we're doing this again. Endless Detour. I don't really want to discard that to a Destroy Evil very much. But I think I'm gonna. When they exile this time, they're really focusing in on the Farewells. Alright, let's try to keep Teferi alive. It's done a great job keeping our life total high. Let's pass the turn, transform their Trespasser, and then destroy Evil and discard the Detour. And then next turn, Teferi digs deeper, hopefully. Okay, good. They're playing Liliana. So when they plus the Liliana, they're going to have to discard, but we're not, because we were going to discard this anyway. The other option would be to put something back on top, which is an interesting one. And we're still going to have to deal with Liliana at some point, but Teferi's going to find a way.
We all have things we'd rather forget.
Okay, Cult Conscripts. All right, Teferi minus. Find. Charm. That's a draw two. That's a draw two. Do we do it now or later? Do we do this now or later? I kind of want to see what they do, but there's a chance we could play out our hand. Not if we draw two, though. And we're just going to we'll save this to discard to Lily in case we draw two nice spells. I have another thing I would play on my turn anyway. Patience, patience, patience. It's very important. All right, good time to draw two cards. Ooh, Memory Deluge. And we got the Fateful Absence. So, we're doing a good job. We keep drawing cards so that Liliana works for us. We just keep the ultimate from happening, and Liliana has to keep throwing these spells in the graveyard. And you might be saying, but those are removal spells. They're not good for them anyway. That's true. I kind of wish that they were just dead cards. But they do really help them protect their underdogs. There's the scrutiny. We needed that. That is awesome. Let's also grab a Detour. That'll keep Liliana from ultimating. How are we doing on mana? Why would it deal me damage? All right. I don't want to do this on my turn, so I guess we hold up one mana because we're going to untap with Teferi, and we draw 5. So, actually, if we draw 5, we just, like, I'm going to have to discard to hand size anyway, right? Maybe I shouldn't even do this turn. Maybe I should Deluge. If I Deluge, the cool thing about this is they can't hit it with a Trespasser. They've already played 2, though. I should just do this while I can. No question, right? Their Liliana definitely works for us now. Invoke to spare time. We finally got that 5th land. And there it is. Nice little hand reload for them. But I want them to discard. Liliana works for us.
We all have things we want.
Okay, Swamp, sure. Now we Fateful Absence her. She's done good work.
It's no fun when they hit back.
And we pass turn. And this should be really close to a lock. But I don't know if they know that yet. They have taken some bits from our graveyard, the Farewells, but we have more. Once we locate those Farewells, we can clean this Cult Conscript and any underdogs they find out of their graveyard. There's another Liliana. Ooh, tempting. Do you work for me? I think you do. This has gone so well. Let's keep it up.
This is my home, and I don't appreciate it when people touch my...
Memory Deluge. There is an Endless Detour and a land we can discard to Liliana. Sometimes you take a card expecting to just let it go. Even them discarding land, it does come back in the late game. Teferi, excellent. And we're back on the Teferi train. I think I'm going to start pushing for ultimates and life gain, especially considering that we have the cards to defend Teferi now from Invoke Despairs.
And some think time only flows in one direction.
All right, they go for Sheldred. So now, unfortunately, Liliana doesn't work for us anymore, unless we had a bounce spell, which would be cool. So we'll go for the Fateful Absence now. And for Sheldred,
I'm not wanted.
I think in this situation, they can't do anything else with this turn. Let's go for the cover-up. And let's get back the Scrutiny, the Endless Detours. If you're actually watching this and you want to know how to beat this deck, because maybe you hate it, one of the best ways is to get rid of the Endless Detours from the graveyard and definitely the Devious Cover-Up. So if you have a Trespasser, it's probably better to get rid of the Endless Detours than it is the Farewells. All right, that is how most games will end. When the opponents find out that you're going to take everything from them and take your sweet time in their demise, they will usually scoop. And this is not bad sportsmanship by all means. They're probably not going to have any fun for the rest of the game. And I revel in it. I really do. Once you actually take them into deep water and force that submission, that's the vibe that control mages love. Thank you for watching this video. You are on the official Magic the Gathering Arena channel. I am CovertGoBlue, CGB. I have my own channel, but I want you to make absolute sure that you hit subscribe right there. And if you like the video, you're still watching it, you probably did, hit like. And if you didn't like it, don't worry. There will be another one very soon. Thank you for watching this video. As always, I will see you in the next video. You're cool.